Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's up? It's your host with the most entertaining people like you from coast to coast. Wave Man Mike, and we're back for another video. Stay tuned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, we're going to be going over 10 common mistakes that you could be doing that could be ruining your wave results. If your waves never look right after a wash and style, they frizz, they lose definition, or they just don't lay down the way that they should, you're probably making one of these common mistakes. These are the same mistakes I see over and over again, even for people who've been waving for months. So I'm going to break down each one and I'm going to explain exactly why it messes up your pattern and what you should do instead. But first, I need to ask you something. We need to make a deal. Listen, I'm spending how long making this video for you? Quite some time. I'm spending all this time making this video for you. The least you can do, is go press the like button. It literally takes 1 second. I'm spending all this time making the video for you. The least you can do is spend 1 second pressing the like button for me. Don't be selfish. Drop that in the comment section below. Don't be selfish. Make sure they know. So mistake number 1 is rinsing without the do-rag on. This one right here ruins more results than anything else. When you're done washing and it's time to rinse out the shampoo, you have to put the do-rag on first. The reason this works is that the do-rag is compressing your waves. When the water hits your hair and it's going through the do-rag is keeping your hair in place. But that wouldn't be happening if you took the do-rag off or never put it on in the first place. I say this in every washing style video. You should be washing the shampoo out through the do-rag. People always skip this step and then they wonder why their hair looks frizzy or why their hair looks uneven. You can't just skip some of the steps. The do-rag is making sure that your hair stays stretched, and without it, you're skipping one of the most important steps. The second mistake is a big one too, and that's taking off the do-rag too early. After you rinse, taking off your do-rag too soon is the next big mistake. Both your hair and the do-rag must be completely dry before you remove it. Like, completely dry. Not almost dry, not dry enough, dry. Here's why. When your hair is wet, your curl pattern is soft and flexible. If you take the do-rag off while it's still wet, your hair doesn't really fully set. So the moment that the air hits it, your curls start to expand again. That's what causes the puffiness and frizz. Keeping the do-rag on while it dries makes sure that the curls stay in place. This is gonna slightly harden your wave pattern, but it's gonna lock it in place. Think of it like making a roller coaster with only wood and glue. You're surely gonna wanna hold those sticks together for a long time to make sure that they stick, right? Because if you don't, it's all gonna fall apart. Maybe not a roller coaster. Glue probably can't hold that. But you know those little stick bridges that you make for the science fair? Yeah, I'm sure you get it. Do they still make stuff like that in school? Do you guys still have science fairs? This is all off topic, but it's the same thing with your waves. Don't take off the do-rag too early because you want your waves to stay in place. My hair is kind of frizzy right now, actually. I just got off work, so my waves probably look kind of crazy right now, but yeah, it's the same thing with your waves. Mistake number 3 is using too much shampoo or using the wrong type. A lot of people think if you just use a lot of shampoo, your hair is going to get cleaner and cleaner. Technically true, but too much shampoo isn't good for your hair. You don't want to strip your natural oils. Natural oils are really important for keeping your hair defined and moisturized. If your hair gets stripped, then it becomes rough and hard to lay down. Look at mine right now. This is not what it normally looks like. To some of you, you're probably thinking like, what? His waves look good. But I hold mine to a different standard. The reason that I'm mentioning this is because I washed my hair yesterday. So it's probably time for me to put some products in. When you're washing your hair, you only need a few pumps, just enough to wash your hair, get it clean, and that's about it. You don't need to overdo it. Also, make sure that the shampoo that you're using is good for your waves. A lot of people like sulfate-free shampoos. That's like the most common recommendation. People like them because they keep a lot of that natural moisture locked in, but they still get your hair clean. Because the goal during the wash isn't just to clean your hair, it's to wash and style it. If you strip away those oils, all the style is gone. Talking about skipping things, mistake number 4 is skipping the detangling step. This is a big one. If you scramble wash your hair, your curls are moving all over the place in every direction. I mean, that's fine, it helps lift up the dirt, but once you're done, you need to detangle. Detangling really helps because it helps get every single strand back in your wave pattern. A detangling brush is probably the best way to get all the strands of your hair pointed in the same direction again, especially after doing the scramble wash method. And if you skip this step, the hair underneath starts with it all twisted up and jumbled. And if you start the process with messed up waves, you're gonna end the process with messed up waves. You need to get all the way to the roots. That's why your brush session afterwards doesn't lay right. Not all the time, but if you ever had that happen, that's probably why. Your pattern really can't lay right because some hairs underneath are crisscrossed or just laid the wrong way. A quick few passes with a detangling brush really goes a long way. It basically resets the foundation, so when you start brushing in your pattern, your waves don't get all frizzy and patchy. Okay, so mistake number 5, I know this is 10 because 5 plus 5, but mistake number 5 is one that I think a lot of people actually don't know, and that's because I think a lot of people are new wavers now. You may not know some of these things, and that's brushing without following your pattern. When you're brushing during a wash style, every single brush stroke needs to follow your wave pattern. The same angles that you're using when you're dry brushing. I don't know if you know about brush angles when dry brushing, but you're supposed to follow the same angles then too. Here's why. Brushing builds muscle memory in your hair. Each stroke trains your curls to lay in a certain pattern. If you start brushing randomly, you confuse that pattern. Think of your wave pattern like a road map. If you just drive in random directions, you'll never end up where you want to go. Random strokes are going to lift your waves out of alignment. That's why you see people with uneven waves, uneven patches of their hair. They have forks all over the place. It's the brush angles. But when you consistently follow the same brush angles on the top, on the sides, on the crown, and on the back, every stroke reinforces that pattern. And over time, your connections start coming in. Mistake number 6 is one that a lot of you are guilty of, and that's not moisturizing after you wash. This is super important. After your hair is clean and dry, it needs that moisture to stay healthy and defined. A lot of people skip putting in that moisturizer, even if it's just a light moisturizer or a leave-in conditioner. A lot of people skip it. They just go ahead and start brushing again. But dry hair has a much rougher texture and it's harder to lay down. The tip that I can give you is get some type of light moisturizer or some type of oil like jojoba oil or jojoba oil, however you say it. Once your hair and the durag are completely dry and you take it off, just put a little bit in there, just enough to restore that softness. You don't really need to oversaturate it. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, washing your hair strips it of those natural oils. So if you don't moisturize after, how are you going to get those oils back? You're just going to have to wait. With your waves, you're really not going to want to wait though. Put some moisturizer in, put some oil in. That'll do a lot for you. Mistake number 7 is that a lot of you are using hot water. I know the hot water is super relaxing. A lot of you just prefer hot water. Maybe you're so used to it that you can't even bear to use anything but hot water. But my recommendation is to use cool or warm water. It doesn't need to be freezing cold. That's really not even that much more beneficial anyway. Warm or cool is fine, but burning hot, scalding hot, fall off the bone hot water, you don't need all that. Hot water opens up the hair cuticles way too much. If anything, that's going to cause more dryness and frizz. So if you finish up the rinse with cool water, it's going to help close those cuticles. Here's the tip I can give you. Use warm water when you're adding the shampoo and then use cool water when you're rinsing it out. From my experience, it makes your hair a little bit more shiny and defined. Tip number 8 is not brushing long enough during the wash. The wash session is when your hair is most manageable, very moldable. Some people don't brush long enough when the shampoo is in their hair. They stop brushing way too early. My tip would be brushing at least 10 minutes, maybe even 15. Really look at your pattern. Look at how it's laying down. This is probably going to be the best your waves look. So don't stop until your waves look uniform. That's the whole purpose of the washing style. Because what you see at the end of the washing style, you're going to want to lock that in with a durag. So if you don't brush long enough, then you're locking in something that isn't even the final result. Does that make sense? Like, my name's Mike, right? If I worked in a bakery and I was baking a cake, let's say the icing changes colors over time. You can't see it until a certain amount of time passes, but I only put some of the letters on there. And by the time it changes colors, it says, "Happy birthday, Ike." Like, who is Ike? This is way off topic, but I hope it made sense. Basically, why are you going to stop with your waves? Why are you going to stop the process if your waves don't even look the way that you want them to look by the end of it? Instead, just keep going a little bit more. That way, you know, when you take the durag off, your waves look much better. Mistake number 9 is that you're probably ignoring your crown. The crown area gets neglected a lot, especially during the wash, because it's very difficult to properly brush while you're washing. But you definitely don't want to skip it. Like I just said in the last mistake, you don't want to lock in an unfinished process because the final product is going to look bad, or it's not going to look how you want it to look. If you're really struggling to get those angles right, use a much smaller brush, maybe even a toothbrush. And mistake number 10 could be the durag that you're using. I've actually seen a lot of people use many different types of durags. You know, the most popular ones are the silky, satin, polyester, mesh. There's so many different types. Certain materials may not work for a washing style. Of course, you don't want one made out of like the same material as my shirt, right? This is proof. There are do-rags made out of the same materials, just like my shirt. Do-rags come in all different materials. Buy one that you dedicate for your washes. It may get ripped up a little bit. The stitching may come loose, but it's okay. Just make sure it's a good one for the wash. Make sure it fits snug. Make sure the water can pass through it easily. Maybe even one that dries quickly. Those are some of the things to look out for. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these were the 10 common mistakes for the washing style that you may be doing. If you did learn something new, please go press the like button. Even if you didn't learn something new, please still go press the like button. If you haven't already, go press the subscribe button too. And drop a comment down below. If they ask you who I am, I'm Waveman Mike. So subscribe, drop a comment, and don't forget to like. Enjoy your day.